Oh, okay. What's dropping? Brand new dip, just longed it. Gun shopping, crypto stocks and options. Not stopping, got bedroom views, no office. Whole squad been posting profit. Damn, just lost it. I could put it all in one low cap, that's no cap, no that, ooh. 10 exit, then exit. Oh no, got rug pulled. I could just sit at home, crying, that's no fun. When they dying, I'm buying, trying for home runs. Me and my fam going hard in the markets. Stacking paper higher than my salary in my apartment. Going way after dark, you know this is the smartest. Drawing lines on the chart like a vorticism artist. What's dropping? Brand new dip, just longed it. Gun shopping, crypto
Hey
stocks
everyone,
and options.
good to
Not stopping,
good to
got
see so
bedroom
many
views, no
familiar
office.
faces.
Whole
glad we were able to make this happen, and welcome to the first public DAO discussion. I think 5 months ago when we started this, we definitely didn't imagine all of this awesomeness that's happened, and it's a testament not only to the hard work of everybody, but also to you guys, believing in this and sticking it through with us. So, the format of what we're going to have today, I really want to keep it as open as possible, without too much of a predetermined structure from us or from the core contributors. This is the first time where we're having the ability for everybody to talk and share their ideas and their exploration about stuff, but we do want to keep some sort of agenda. So first, I'm going to give a very high level of how the perceived structure is at the moment. Share a few bits of information of some decisions that have happened that will influence our first epoch for the membership, and then we can start keeping it a little bit less structured, hearing from other people, sharing ideas, and figuring out how we're going to give a bit more structure and order to the setup. So today we have a concept which is a DAO that will be for people holding a large portion of Grape, and they will be accepted in from the entire DAO, reading applications and deciding, who is going to come into the DAO. Now, the prerequisite is, of course, you're holding 20,000 Grape, and another prerequisite we've discussed is that there shall be a skill roll. And I think that shows that this person who's joining the DAO already is contributing some sort of value. So to the large extent, everybody who currently has the DAO designation, I'm very comfortable saying that all of these people will continue being in the DAO, because everybody on the DAO already has one of these skill role designations, and because of that skill role designation, the calculation should come out that they'll be able to maintain their DAO amount needed. I don't want to go into too much detail into that. To a certain extent, we want there to be surprises of how the emissions are going to happen this week. That's why I won't go into too much detail there. So that DAO is responsible. If you guys have read the Git book, it's responsible for a lot of the decision making around the sub DAOs and resolving conflicts. So as much as possible, we want to separate the operations from the decision making with the sub DAO structure. The sub DAOs are directly connected to the roles. So if you are, for example, a designer or videographer, you're part of that design sub DAO. If you are a researcher or writer, you're part of that education sub DAO, and so on and so forth. And then within each sub DAO, those members are voting together who continues to stay on in that sub DAO month to month. Now, everybody is able to see what roles they have. Everybody's able to see what roles other people have. We want to keep everything as transparent as possible. So the idea is that any DAO application that we receive will be completely transparent. All Google Forms will be publicly showing those results. You know, Google Form is something that is temporary. A lot of the tools we use are temporary. We've already started to ideate on how we're going to be decentralizing literally every thing we're touching. And please feel free to ask questions, bring up other ideas on tools to build. Um, Now, for the rest of the conversation, I really do want to focus on roles, responsibilities, and how we're going to uh, accept proposals, how we're going to break up into teams to accomplish different goals. The main focus is Solana. We want everything in Solana to grow faster, for adoption to grow faster. We want to support the projects that we think need more support, and that's a community activity. There's so many different roles for everybody here. One great example is our project list. That list has been paused. That shouldn't be the case. So ideally, there's a small task force that handles updating that project list. I also think maybe we need to make a separate project list where there's, DeFi projects and then a separate list for NFT projects. Maybe we make a third list for NFT projects that haven't dropped yet. That also connects to our calendar. So, I've just alluded to a very small part of all of the work. But this is how we need to start thinking about it. We need to start carving it up. I see a lot of people from other projects as well in the audience, and the idea is that this is an ecosystem that helps all projects grow faster. Right? We become an audience for them. We become a beta testing area for them. We become fans, early adopters. All of these things, the idea is that we can support. So, one of the things I also want to discuss here is how we're going to accept them, how we're going to be able to give them a place to come into our community and share what they're building, find support, give support, and etc. So I think before we kind of open it up, I do want to give an opportunity for the rest of the team to speak. Chris, after I say one more thing, I think it would be a good opportunity for you to share a few of your ideas, and then what we'll do is we'll open it up to the floor. Where we'll start to talk about the roles, the responsibilities, answer questions, take on new ideas. The one thing I want to communicate to everybody, and we're going to share this broad and wide, is this is the time to make sure that you have the right verified wallet attached to your Discord. The way you can do that is you can DM the Grape bot with exclamation verify. We've said it before, but this is one of the most important times. Make sure you have the right verified wallet. And with that, I'll give it over to Whale's friend, to Chris.
Hey guys, super excited to be here, and we wouldn't have done it without you. Community is first in this project, and it's an interesting experiment. I hope we are persistent enough to make this smooth and actually reach conclusions and decide on things. A couple of changes that I want to actually introduce, and I want people to maybe help me decide, and that would be the best outcome, would be I would like to change a little bit the format of the stream to represent more the community, to represent more the Solana ecosystem, not to be only my the subject matter, not to be only my choice, but I want people I want the Grape the community to be represented through the stream. So I'll need your help on how to structure that for sure. And in that area, it comes also the alpha channel, the Solana alpha channel, which has so much information. There is a flow of information that is extremely important. It has so much value, but it is not structured, and it's hard to really keep up. So I'll need also help to create a way to extract this alpha. I think that's too valuable not to take advantage of it. But yeah, these are just things in my mind that I would like to share with you, that you are the heart of the community. And I think it can propel the server, the protocol, the community, everything to even greater heights. On that note, yeah, I'm looking forward on discussing all the little sub-DAOs and how people think that we can have a meritocratic system of governance.
Thanks for that, Chris. At this point, I'll give some time for people to speak. I think everybody should be able to unmute and speak at will. So yeah, if there's any questions, comments, I think this is a great time for that. Okay, I can understand that we're so in the early days of what we're doing. Do we have to manually unmute people? So let me see. Okay. Wow. We are suppressed, cannot speak. Yeah, the people have been suppressed. Okay,
Oh, now we can talk.
Now everybody should be able to talk, and everybody should. Yeah, I'll make it push to talk. I guess that makes it better for us. You might have to log out and log back into the Voice Connect to be able to speak now that I've changed the settings. I'll also turn on.
Is this working?
Yep, I can hear you.
I guess I'll fire off as no one else is talking. Wales, I spoke to you a little while ago. I'm happy to join streams. Community streams work time-wise for me, half an hour or something on a Saturday, to be able to talk about gaming specifically. I noticed a lot of your streams, because I watch them usually. I download them and watch them later on due to time zones. But when you've got other people there, when you've got D Machine, when you had Billy there, when you had the big room of thick, big men, people were engaged. That brings the community. It shows the community it's more than just the one person.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Would be nice to have joint streams then, and have a couple of maybe a couple of core community members join me on streams. We can definitely do that through Discord. We can co-stream. There are like so many ways of doing it. Even having a Zoom call at the same time. It just needs a little bit of juggling on the audio channels, but it's absolutely doable.
Starting something up. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is I think there's a good chance to be able to add more to it, and there's so many different niches towards crypto and even gaming and NFTs. I concentrate solely on gaming. NFTs is just a whole another metaverse, like you can have 20 minutes a week where you just add them in, and I think that would add to the streams, and certain people may click in. But I'd like to start something on a fortnightly basis where I talk about just gaming and do a live stream hour or something like that.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. That's a great way to actually involve the community and give a little bit more flavor. Yeah, let's fix that. I can. Yeah, I'll think
for me, it's been I've wanted to set up my own goals and sort of kick those goals, but at the same time, like, I don't have the technical know-how. So that's where I need to feed from the community for that help to how to set up my OBS and do the stream like you set up, and you're on 15 different fucking platforms within a minute. You know, I struggled to get I had to download video content on how to use OBS.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not only just bringing someone on the stream, it's also structuring the alpha that is that lives in the Solana alpha and the alpha that lives in the NFT channel, because it's just too much. It's impossible to actually feed them to the stream.
You can't do it. You physically can't read all of the different Discord channels. You just can't. I understand what you're saying with the alpha channel. Is you cannot monitor 4,000 Discord channels and get that content.
Yeah, but also we need a structure, a way to actually take notes, refine them, and then have a way to present these strategies in a concise manner that I can also feed in the stream, and then I can attribute, or maybe I can get the person who's actually built the strategy or thought about it to explain it himself. I think that's an even more awesome way to include the community. But,
we need we need to really rely on a volunteerism kind of structure, in that, you know, people need to volunteer their ability and their time to do things, and then we need to be clear on how we attribute that things have been done. I think if we're extremely transparent about, you know, volunteering, recruiting, and attributing where people have done stuff, everything else kind of can fit into place, because we already have the incentive layer figured out, right? As a community, we know exactly that 5 million Grape are coming out every month. We know that that's going to be allocated to people based on their roles, and that the roles are going to be assigned based on what they do. So, like, for a streamer thing, right? I currently consider that to be community creator, and, you know, I would love for us to debate that. Like, how does somebody apply for it? How do they become it? Is there a difference between being a community creator in Grape versus Solana? You know, there's a lot to discuss there, and there's just so much meat, and, you know, we don't need to try to attack everything today. But you know, that's one portion of what you're trying to get to, Barn Dog. But you'll also need on your Barn Dog team for your content, you'll need that person on the videography side or the OBS setup side that you mentioned. Now,
Yeah,
is the
100%.
OBS person a, hey, I am a generic, I go in, set up the OBS, help people out guy? Or is this a role that does just more, right? Like, you know, ideally it's not somebody that comes in once, you know, sets it up, and then that's the value you like. But if that's the case, that's the case. And you know, there's right now like about 100 people on I don't know how many people we are on this channel. Somebody for sure here knows how to do the OBS, and wants to be able to get a role. Immediately, the best case scenario is you reach out directly to Barn Dog. Don't feel like you also need to do DMs. I mean, I personally abhor DMs. I like as much of our conversations happening transparently in a group setting. That way people know the opportunities, they know where they can chime in. But that's an example of, you know, the Barn Dog stream is content that promotes Solana gaming. Excellent. So now we have, you know, what the end product is. We know what has to go into it, which is you. There needs to be somebody to help you on the technical and maybe the editing and whatnot side. And then there should be some other input on the research. Or, you know, there's this question that Adam posted, Adam Del Sol, thank you for that, where he mentions the ability for other projects to be incubated in Grape. Well, maybe one of the inputs into Barn Dog's stream is these projects that are being incubated in Grape, right? So as we continue to explore this community in its entirety and mission, we're going to find these different parts of the funnel that have multiple applications, like the incubation. I think that's a fantastic thing to think about. How exactly do we let projects first volunteer or apply to be incubated? What does it mean to be incubated? But yeah, I don't want to go
Yeah,
off.
and how can we involve Grape into this incubation? The community, the people, and the coin.
Yeah, I think that, by virtue of somebody being incubated in Grape, it means that, a large portion of the discussion happens in the Grape community, where the Grape users are either early adopters or massive contributors in that, giving feedback on the design. For an NFT, for example, right? It would be giving feedback on the design, maybe giving feedback in distribution. And then Grape as a community needs to have some sort of value coming in from that project, just like any other, grant system or accelerator, if you will, or incubator, right? So, one of the things we had discussed with NFT projects is that the Grape Treasury, which all of you here, you should be able to see the Grape Treasury. We've put the address on our Git book. That belongs to all of us. That is backing Grape to some extent. That Treasury wallet right now has quite a few NFTs and I don't know, a bit less than $5,000 or $10,000 worth of SOL in USDC.
Maybe we should take things in a more structured way. We should start by each sub DAO and kind of present our thoughts and issues that we face on each sub DAO, so people can kind of get an idea of what we need to talk and what they need to chip in to solve.
Yeah, I do want to point out that this is the moment to show you want to be involved. If you currently don't have the DAO designation, I promise you, speaking up now will increase the likelihood of you having a DAO designation very soon, because we need active people. If anybody's having an issue talking, please share that in the team talk questions. I think those issues should be solved for everybody. So I'll give another, pause here for anybody to ask a question or share a comment. Decentralization's hard. Yeah, maybe it'll be interesting.
So people are a little bit more worried now that it's live, that other people are listening in.
Say that
I noticed
again?
there was a difference in the alpha channel, and there was a difference in the alpha channel this week over the previous week, because there's more of an awareness that we're now being presented out to the public.
Yeah, I like that.
Just seems very quiet. Like so many people talking.
It might be that our population is more people who prefer to type than to speak. That's fine. But we will continuously have these talks. This first one obviously is going to be a little unstructured, in that we really want to make this structure with everyone. That being said, you guys know that we already have a lot of this structure, but it was my hope as much as possible that there would not be a structure imposed on people or onto the community. That and we have organically made this with everybody. The core contributor group has grown so much, but we will continuously have these calls. It's one of the best ways to get issue resolution. it's quite possible that we will have a proposal process that involves GitHub or Gitbook. That way, people can, we can share also these larger ideas. So yeah, Chris, what you mentioned, we'll go through it right now. So on the SubDAO side, we have the community.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Dean, it's Adam. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, not at all. How's it going, Adam?
Going very well. Sorry, it took me a little while to figure out how to switch to push to talk. Yeah, and apologies again to the Grape community because I do have to leave soon. But I just wanted to kind of get a specific point of clarity on my question, and that's really just I want to talk to the community about incubating the project I've been working on with my team, and I want to know what is the best way and where and when to bring that to the community, because I know if I just start talking in a channel at some point, maybe not everybody that should be involved will see that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And what we'll need to do is make a dedicated channel, or even better, a dedicated form process. That way it can be much more formalized. And what we can do then is every time we meet, every weekend, I think as a community, we can invite those projects to speak. Maybe it's not a time to speak during the DAO meeting, but we should have a time where other projects can speak and present to the community as a whole. I mean, as I'm saying this in real time, I'm thinking in real time on this. I really like the idea of having a dedicated, Solana project day where to any extent of presenting and sharing, that can happen. So at the very least, there'll be a forum where people can present their ideas. But then to go into this idea of an incubation, I think that should be a form. That's my 2 cents.
Could they have a list of people to message directly? Obviously, we don't want to be having thousands of messages, but Adam, what is your project? Is it NFTs? Is it gaming? Is it DeFi?
It's an NFT project, but it's really kind of similar to Grape. It's about the community, right? And kind of what we're gonna build and teach, and really it's about having more options for members of the Grape community to move on into building and making, developing, creating, things like that.
So have you been through the NFT channel and just had no luck in getting any kind of discussion, conversations, anything happening?
No, I haven't. It was I really since this was such kind of a different conversation than just hey, we want to use the great tools. I messaged Dean and he encouraged me to come have this out in conversation out in the open. And so I was just thinking I want to bring this up, but I don't want to just randomly show up in a channel and then hey, do the people are people engaged enough in this conversation?
Hey
People listening, dude, it's good. It's awesome.
this is Lord Dashdrake here. Just want to say that if we want to do any sort of incubation, my suggestion is we have a few people that review all the submissions, and the submissions that pass the review process can be reviewed as a whole. Because if we get 50 projects, it's going to take way too much time for everybody to review them. So this is why having a few people that this would be their job to filter through the submissions, and then those submissions that are filtered will be later presented to the whole system. Anyway, just an idea.
I think that's
It's a pretty good one, I think. Please go on, sorry to interrupt.
I was saying I think that's something that could apply, I guess, grape wide, is finding a way to make information much more digestible, whether it's streaming content or even the Discord channels. It's just way too much information to process. So kind of having the gatekeepers for the rest of the Grape community, I think, is crucial, and making it in a much more efficient way to doing that.
Yeah, and then if the people who review it give their go ahead, this would also be a bonus for that project, because look, we are not a random project. You see, we've been vetted, so to speak. So this is a win-win for everybody. It's a win for the project itself, and it's a win for the community, assuming we want to put our names behind any project.
From a project owner's perspective, I completely agree. I think like being part of a curated process is much more favorable than like just being part of a cattle call, if like it's just like an open forum for whoever.
Yeah, because look, like I've been around the block a few times, and there are a lot of projects that well, they're not that I don't want to say they're scams, but they're kind of scams. So if we want to like actually make sure that we digest the information in a way that and we review the process in a way that if we can put our names behind something, then people can know for a fact that at least, regardless if the project succeeds or not, at least the project is not a scam or an outright scam.
As far as how this fits into roles, responsibilities, and sub DAOs, it feels like this becomes a research. It's connected to research in one aspect, in that we want to make sure that they're vetted, and the same people who are strong in research are probably the right people to be involved somehow in the filtering process. At the same time, I'm looking at our sub DAOs where we have community events, development, research, education, design, video, moderation. Maybe this is a different version of development, in that it's development and project development, or maybe it's a sixth sub DAO, which we can just call maybe Solana, or I don't know. Is there? Does anybody have an idea on how, would this be a new sub DAO, and which roles would contribute to it? And to add real fast on this, these same people could help manage the Solana project list. I really think the Solana project list, was something that was very cool in the beginning, where you could find all the Discord servers. Having that same team maintaining and adding the new NFTs, like that's a full-time job as well. So some food for thought there on how we call the sub DAO, and how do we call the roles that contribute to this function.
Yeah, because they need to, like, the idea is to identify the roles in order to incentivize those people with Grape. This is the idea here.
Yeah, so in the end, the people who do the research and spend time trying to figure out if the project is a scam or not, I mean, these people have to be paid, because nobody will do research for free.
Yeah, but are we going to create a new group for them, or they're going to be a subgroup of the researchers?
My idea would be that they should be like a project review group that doesn't necessarily deal with specific research on things, but more of, okay, look, we have a new project, here it is, here it what it plans to do, here are some of the ideas, stuff like that. It's more targeted and reactive, so people come to that group, and the group doesn't go and hunt different things. So researching is more outgoing, while this one will be more inwards.
I see. I like the idea. I really like the idea.
Okay, so is anybody in opposition for us to make a sixth sub DAO, which is focused on project. I think it should be like project and maybe grant evaluation, because it connects to how will Grape interact with these other projects, right? It's not just, like if we were going to be sitting and looking for the best DeFi yield on Saber, that's purely a research group. Whereas the evaluation is not just, hey, what's this project look like? But I think to speak to, again, to what Adam was bringing up, is how does a project then come into the Grape fold? That's a little bit outside of the overview of research, because this needs to be a team that understands um, value accrual to Grape, right? Because ultimately, every single thing we're doing needs to be both accomplishing our mission to grow Solana, but also growing the asset value of Grape. Is anybody opposed to a sixth sub DAO focused on this kind of project and grant evaluation?
It should be a smaller one than the research team, and should be a more like, these things need to be thoroughly discussed and conclude to points.
Then maybe it's not a sub DAO. Maybe it's not a sub DAO, and it's just there's a because you're right, it's a bigger decision, but at the same time,
and it also involves the project that is being incubated, because it's value accrual on both sides. So any strategy is not going to be dictated only by Grape or the Grape members, but also from the team that wants to be incubated. So maybe it needs to be more of a like, let's create a team to accomplish this mission, and then this team dissolves, and then there's a new team, and there's a new team, because it's an NFT project. Other people should be in this group. Again, I'm also thinking as we go out loud.
Yeah, this could be an evaluator group, because I could see like somebody like Bertz being, always needed for the NFT evaluation. I can see someone like Barn Dog always being connected to the gaming evaluation. So evaluation is a continuous need. It's just not maybe a daily need. And there's other roles and responsibilities that maybe we can't think of them right now, but this my gut tells me this is a sub DAO.
But like, I would want to work with Adam.
Yeah.
To create any incubation value accrual strategies for both projects.
And Adam's an example of someone that we know very well. He's for lack of a better word, famous in Solana. We also have to think about the people who we don't know. There's going to have to be an avenue where they don't have to be able to grab our ear. The more I think about it, the more I think it's a new sub DAO, and the leader of that sub DAO has to be someone who's very networking, very outgoing. That way, they can get that inbound traffic, be able to filter it to a certain extent, be that point of contact. It needs to be someone who's highly attentive, a Discord warrior. I don't know. What does everybody think about that?
So it would be a specialized group that is constantly evolving depending on what the project is focusing on for that particular, I guess, week. Say, for example, one time it's NFTs, the other time it's an altcoin, and they're bringing this information to us. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's a continuous stream of people and projects wanting to have exposure and connection to the Grape brand, either through NFT giveaways or through gates. So I think there would be a dedicated point of contact who acts as the leader for the evaluation team. There probably has to be an evaluation form. That way we all transparently can see everybody that's trying to get our attention. A group for curation, evaluation prior to discussion, and then post acceptance, the group running the incubation. Yeah, I think the group running the incubation is the DAO, and then the group doing curation evaluation is a separate sub DAO. What I'd like to know is there anybody who wants to volunteer to be part of that group or running that group?
I can volunteer in being a part of it. I don't have enough time to run it. So, and I'm not the most outgoing person. So, like you said, we need somebody that is very networky. I'm most of an asshole, so. But I can give reasonable
I love the guy's awesome.
assertions on various projects that are presented there.
I
And I'm mostly cynical
love
by
that too.
nature, so.
No, I know, and I consider you to be outgoing, but I get what you're saying, and I appreciate the honesty, and I think you would be a fantastic person to join that team. So really appreciate that. I already know that having you on that, it's going to be a very good, very strong team. And then King Richard's also volunteering to be part of it. That's great. I want, though, this is a good moment for somebody to volunteer to lead it. A lot of the forming of this is going to come from your DNA. So if you want to be really part of the project, this is a good thing to volunteer for. Don't feel that you need to volunteer for it on voice. You can DM me. But to be honest, this is a position that I think everybody agrees needs to be outgoing and networking.
Yeah, you'll need to get on calls with the founders of the project that is being incubated. You need to be, reach out to the people that need to be included in the conversations and things like that.
Okay, we'll start with King Richard and Ash Drake joining the new evaluation sub-DAO, and we'll see how it goes from there. I am adding it to the Gitbook as we speak. And I'm going to be calling it Project Evaluation.
It might be a lot for one person to handle all of that. It might be best just to combine a group of people for now and then see if any of them might step up later on once they have a better idea of what this role is going to require out of them in terms of time.
Yeah. So we do need a few people, man. Don't put it all on us. Like I said, I'll give honest opinions, but I can't spend all day on it. Like I'm first and foremost a trader here, so this is only all volunteering. Like I can give honest opinions, so maybe people are a bit too hyped, and I can pull them down a bit into reality here.
Absolutely. Look, first of all, we all appreciate that people are thinking about this so seriously that you don't want to overly commit based on time requirements, and you get that.
No,
And
man,
every
I'm just honest. I mean, look. I've been, I'm just telling it how it is, man.
Yeah, brother. No, I love it. You're doing exactly what we all need. Everybody needs to act like this, because this is serious, right? We're trying to do something that's the first time in mankind, So I appreciate that everybody's taking it seriously. And to what Dynite said, yeah, this is not a one-person role. I'd also like to explain a bit more on the sub-DAO team relationship. We specifically will not be part of any sub DAOs, anybody on what we call quote unquote core contributor team. That being said, every single sub DAO will connect to a specific person within that core contributor team. So I think, for project evaluation, you would be working closely with Chris, with Whale's friend, as the project evaluator. If you guys want, I can go through the other sub DAOs. I think we've ventured on this a lot, and we'll put more exposure on working with Ashtray, King Richard, and other people who volunteer for community event.
As the leader, let's say, as the point of contact of this sub DAO, the evaluation team for the incubator, feel free to connect with me if you're interested in learning what are the responsibilities, how it will operate, and if you want to volunteer. Just whisper me, Wells friend, you know me, you've seen me. So please don't be shy. Let's take this to the moon.
Yeah, and
Can I say something?
Yes, please do.
I'm sorry, I've been trying to figure out the whole push to talk situation here. So I'm not sure it's been mentioned in the past minute or so, but the evaluation head of the sub-DAO, the head of the evaluation sub-DAO, I think it's not a job for one person because it needs to be very transparent and objective. So, and sometimes people cannot have an expertise in all areas. So some some persons might have expertise in NFTs, some others in DeFi. So this needs to be fine-tuned in a way that no one gets left behind or overseen by the head, because let's say the head is specialized in NFTs and cannot grasp the value or realize or evaluate, as the mission of his sub DAO will be the mission of a said project that's under review.
Yeah, I think that we have enough fluidity in the fact that every month we're going to be reconfirming sub-DAO leaders, and also every single form will be completely transparent. So let's say there's a situation where the community feels that a project was overlooked by the sub-DAO on project evaluation. We all have that information. It'll all be transparent. And then it can be brought up in multiple forums that, hey, this one we should be reevaluating. But I do like there being, the buck stops here kind of mentality, and that only comes with accountability. It's very hard to have accountability um, in my experience, unless there's a name attached to that accountability. Is this a more intense version of interacting with Grape? Absolutely, and I think everybody would agree that sub-DAO leaders will get some sort of premium on whatever that sub-DAO receives as a allocation. And that, that's something we can discuss at a different juncture. We haven't ever come up with what the mathematics would look like for a sub-DAO leader, because it's going to be a privileged but also challenging position. But yeah, I'm very comfortable with it being one person because there's so many levels of transparency.
Look. The mostly general idea of it would be is the projects that we evaluate. Our main, how should I say it? Our main focus is because this space evolves very fast. So something that is cool today might be dead tomorrow because something better comes out. So the way I see it, my best idea would be, rather than see how it would work in the next 3 to 6 months, is this project at least viable from an idea standpoint? Do they have a product yet, or it's just nice pictures on a screen? If it's a DeFi, for example, do they have like a demo? Do they have something that, or they just raise money and then they can, oh, we can't build it, it's too complicated, oh well, so that would be our first focus. Then the next focus is regarding NFTs. Like, for example, we should make sure that, okay, like if this project, like I looked on Twitter right now, and there is a new project called Solapes, which is like a copy of the Bake, the Ape Club, the Bored Ape Club. I mean, like this is like purely cash grab, you know. Like we should identify. This would be the first thing that identify and eliminate these sort of things.
Yeah, I think this is a good thing you brought up. As a, if there was a NFT or evaluation crew, you know, I guess that there could be certain rules as a community we come up with. For example, one rule could be if a project is a straight up copy paste of an Ethereum NFT, we shouldn't um, you know, promote them. Um, and I'm very comfortable saying that as a rule. Like it doesn't, I don't feel like it's additive to Solana. I don't think it's additive to crypto to do those copy pastes of NFTs. Uh, so yeah, I don't know if this is the moment or what the forum type would be to create these rules, but I agree with what you're saying.
No, I mean, look. The only exception to this rule would be the first punks, because when they appeared, they were mostly proof of concept, and the markets didn't exist, and the wallets didn't work properly, and everything else. So with those, let's say there is some wiggle around, but like this sort of dumb shit is like, this is dumb. Anyway, just something that I've seen on Twitter right now. So.
No, I think that's great, and I think we've got the starting of a fleshed out sub DAO that we didn't even have before, which is phenomenal. You know, there's a lot of ways we could have thought about this conversation going. The fact that we've not only come up with a new sub DAO, but also had quite a few volunteers for it. I've added you also on it to talk to you, Adam. Also added Avid Learner. If there's more, you know, we'll have to have a volunteer channel and a process for people to be able to choose the role they're volunteering for. That'll be set up by Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to have a new, you know, a lot of new channels to support our membership. So I'll get that in there as well.
Yeah, so if you guys have a problem, you need to go to settings, and in settings you go to voice and video, and you on input mode you click push to talk, and then on the where it says shortcut you just press a key, and then you apply the settings, and once that's done you have to rejoin this conversation, and then just press that key and you'll be able to talk. There are some photos.
While people are figuring out some of the mechanics of the voice, I want to continue going through the sub DAOs. The first one we have is community events. The reason why community events is important is twofold. One, it's one of the benefits of the membership that you'll be able to be part of these events, giveaways, airdrops, competitions, what have you. And that gives a different value to the membership, right? Like if you want to be part of the Call of Duty or the poker, you need to be holding 5,000 Grape. So the community events is important in that aspect. And the second is community events is going to be how we get a lot of non-crypto people into crypto. I have plenty of friends who were never interested in anything to do with anything crypto. And the moment I said, oh yeah, we're going to be giving 250,000 Grape for Call of Duty, they all got their wallets and signed up. So community events is an extremely important area. We've discussed this, and the first leader of that sub-DAO will be Probe. Probe has been one of those people who joined um, so early in Grape, and he's organized most of our games. Very attentive, very great attention to detail, good understanding of not only the community but of the space. So congratulations, Probe. After this, I would love to have a separate conversation about who else needs to be on your team. If anybody here is listening and they're interested in being part of the community events organization, right now we have that kind of as a moderator role, but I think we'll have to create a new role type for it. You would be working closely with Probe. What we mean on community events, I think it goes from everything to what we've already organized. So that's like Hearthstone, that's Call of Duty, that's poker. That includes the writing contest we're doing for Star Atlas, and that would include other ideas that are, engaging, fun ways for us to create value and opportunities for people to get exposed to Grape. But at the same time, I don't think it would reach the level of community events being technical oriented. That'll be, purely in development. The grant processes wouldn't be part of community events. So let's keep it on topic. Anything to contribute to add to the way we've thought about community events? This is a good time to talk about it.
You've got Lisbon coming up soon. Is there any consideration towards possible live events?
So we have the
Community
opportunity.
live events.
We have the opportunity to sponsor something with Solana, one of the events. But I think what you're saying is much more grassroots, and I appreciate that version more, which is, hey, let's just as a group decide what we can all do together in Lisbon, whoever's going.
Yeah, but I'm talking from a different. So, say for example, an Australian event, a American event in fucking Cali, or do you know what I mean? So not
Yeah.
necessarily Lisbon. That's already happening, but other locations.
Okay. Yes. I love it. Obviously, you would be the guy for Australia.
Well, I'm meeting someone next week, one of the devs from Kinland, so we're going to go and have a coffee/beer. He'll have a coffee, I'll have a beer. But for me, I played a card game. Sorry, I played Clash of Clans, and I did live events in Sydney and Melbourne, and it was amazing just to get the people together. We did T-shirts for one and fucking stubby holders for the other, but that to me brings community, to have that beer and that live event kind of feeling.
Okay. This definitely would fall underneath community events, and I've written you down for Australia. We should, and you brought up the idea of merch as well. That's an area that we haven't touched. But I've written this down. Makes complete sense for offline meetings to be part of the community part. Now, if in over time we see that it's so different than what we do on the community event side in on digital online, we'll spin out a separate sub DAO for that.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
It's Ardo. I just want to say hi and thank you for inviting me in. And I look forward to being a part of this community, as well as all my members of my DAC will be more than willing to help out on any other projects that Grape has in the future. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Ardo. For everybody to know, Ardo's part of the Final Frontier Guild. I believe the word's DAC for Star Atlas. And recently, you guys had a great partnership with the Interstellar Alliance, also a very strong, great partner. So honored to have you here. Okay, so I think that was a good start on the community event side, and acknowledging that we need to have a structure around offline meetings is good to get that as well. So we'll move on to development. Right now, development is probably our smallest group. We've identified three developers outside of the core contributors. We've decided that uh, it will most likely be Sultan Payek, who is that sub DAO leader. Of course, it's all based on availability and potential. It's a lot of this stuff is a little trickier. But what would that sub DAO focus on? A lot of open source projects. Some of the stuff that Onga has done, for example, would fall under that. I think that team would also be interacting with the DAO for what kind of grants do we need to put out there for things that we, Grape, need, or maybe the greater Solana ecosystem need. It would be really cool if we reach a point where we can contribute to the entire Solana ecosystem by building out the open source tools that are missing. So development is primarily, running that operation where community developers can be identified. They can work together to build out other open source code bases and projects that we need. Now we would go over to research and education. Chris, would you like to talk about the research and education and the sub-DAO leader there?
I haven't picked anybody. I want it to be organic. I want someone to volunteer from the researchers to actually lead that sub DAO. I think it's one of the most important sub DAOs, and one of the that we can actually produce value immediately for the ecosystem, for the Solana fan base, and for the Grape members, and even for and expand to so many different territories. Like we can have Medium articles, we can have reports, we can have newsletters. There are so many ways we can pass alpha, and the researchers need to help structure this this work, and needs to be fed into various outlets that will generate some kind of engagement for Grape. It should be under the Grape umbrella, and we are benefiting by having those strategies, creating those strategies, and actually having them first. So I think there is a lot of value for us as well, and for the people that are going to be reading those. And the ultimate goal here is to have a community fund that will be governed by those researchers, and or by what's it called, by people voted by those researchers, representatives of those researchers. But this is an idea that will come into play after we've managed to structure the research. So I really need people to step up and help get this thing into shape, into a package, because just a random a huge wall of text that everybody is just contributing doesn't really help. You can't read 40 pages of text and have a conclusion. I know Durden is doing an amazing job with the Solana update, but we need even more. And we need it in an accessible library format, in my opinion. But again, open to suggestions. I think there are at the moment 19 people in the researchers group, or 18 people. So yeah, I assume, and I want someone from there to step up and lead this DAO. And of course, we're gonna have each DAO guys needs to then talk about structure of compensation of the emissions of Grape, on how these are going to be distributed, and what's the work required to get that. So everybody who enters this team is immediately part of the governance of this team. So keep in mind that this is a role that's important and can have can change the Grape balance in your wallet.
Yeah, I think one of the operations we need to do is, now that we're, going through this structure, each sub DAO will need to have its own call, at least once a week. That way, the issues around research and education are discussed in a separate forum from this one.
I totally agree. It's very necessary the people in this in every sub DAO to be like intimate and know each other, and they should not be afraid to speak up and steer the DAO as they think. Yeah, weekly calls that they will have to actually, and of course one of us is, as we said, is going to be the end point of every DAO, and if necessary we'll also participate in those calls to moderate.
One of the things I wanted to bring up is we used to have a newsletter, the Grape. A lot of the information around the community was disseminated like that. I put it on pause because, look, it was a good operation to be able to see, writing talent, getting people out of their shell. But, at the end of the day, we weren't producing a product where I feel it was representative of the amount of effort that was going into it. Do you think the Grape is something to continue or to morph that would go into research and education? Is it something that we stop doing? Do we need a community newsletter? How does it fit into research and education, or does it not fit in at all?
In my personal opinion is that it doesn't fit, that we need someone who is observing every sub-DAO and kind of summing up what's happening every week. It should be a weekly newsletter written by the community for the community. I don't think it should be research oriented. I don't think that the alpha should be the same document as a weekly newsletter or a monthly newsletter that will be will have some audit reports and some things like that connected to it. It's like a TLDR, what happened during this month, so it could be a monthly newsletter, and what's planned for next month, and the audit reports.
I think a certain way of this note keeping in an elaborate way, like the newsletter, is very essential, because there are people that cannot be daily, and stuff happen in the Discord every day, every hour. So I'm sure there are people that are missing things that have happened that they would have liked to know. And I think the newsletter should be used and utilized in such way. And I also wanted to point out something about the education. I don't know whether the newsletter can fit into this, but on the research part, I think our flagship is the Solana Alpha channel. On the education part, we need to structure it in some way that will, educate people on things, educate on how you can be a designer, how you can improve your design skills.
No, I want to stop you right there. The only reason I'm emphatically stopping you there is that we specifically have to be a Solana focused community. Like, I am very close to the point where I would have a strong vote on what do we do with movie chat. Like, to a certain extent, we need to start to really hone in on the focus. Every single part of this has to be around growing Solana. Now, one person could say, but if you teach someone to design, then they can start designing NFTs for. I don't want us to go into that direction. Until we are massively successful in accomplishing our goal of helping all Solana projects and Solana growing, I don't want to add and let's teach people how to cook, and let's teach people how to design, and let's teach people how. I don't want to go in that direction. The fitness and wellness is a different accomplishment there. That's why I don't connect the dots. But in the immediate short term, any education is 100% only for Solana and Solana projects.
I don't disagree. I agree with that. And I was just trying to articulate the way education should work, because the research we can understand, but what's the purpose of the education? Is it the Solana Alpha channel? What else do we want to know to
No,
build on
so a
education?
good example of education that we've already done, and this brings me into design and video. We've nominated PST, you're on the call. We've nominated PST to be the head of the design and video team. And the reason why we chose PST is because he's shown the ability to grab multiple people and create a final product that's very polished and very valuable, of high quality. If you've seen our tutorials on how to set up a Phantom wallet, how to set up a Soleil wallet, how to get your wallets verified, he produced those. I think that those are examples of education. Our goal was to also make a tutorial on how to join the Radium IDO in anticipation of the Grape one, but because we were so busy, we never got to that point. He also made a video along with Chris, along with Adhi, and along with Rafley, which was for FTR. I think the FTR video is the perfect example of education that touched on multiples. It touched on the research education sub-DAO. It touched on the design video sub-DAO. For me, that's the right direction and a good example.
Hey guys, by the way, I don't know if anyone can hear me.
We can hear you.
Yeah, excellent. I am on the plane. I managed to be listening all this time, but I haven't been able to say anything because you guys would hear a whole bunch of noise. One thing I was thinking about for the research and the submissions, I know I'm a little late on this, but I just wanted to say accountability on people putting their names forward to put anything, whether it's in writing. So the question is whether or not you need the newsletter or you need anything else, right? Putting people to feel comfortable to put their names out there to say that they vouch for whatever is being promoted, and or creating TLDR lists or otherwise.
May I clarify something, because I think we're mixing two things up. There is the evaluation team is about evaluating and creating strategies for projects that want to be incubated in Grape. It's not we're just checking projects that are appearing in the space. If someone wants to be incubated in Grape, then we need to create a strategy for the incubation and the value creation that will accrue in both communities. And that's the task.
Could we also, like, all these guys that reach out to me and say, hey, can we do an NFT giveaway with you? Could we push those over to project evaluation?
Yes. Because with you means we're gonna be getting a part of the mint, we're gonna be doing part of the promotion, we're gonna be doing part of the community building. So I think that's incubating. So yes, like now saying, hey, we want to do a giveaway to the Grape community, I don't think that needs any vetting. Give us an NFT. If it's a flop, it's a flop. Who gives a shit? Again, personal opinion. It shouldn't be my opinion that dominates or reaches a consensus on people to type or speak up.
That makes a lot of sense. And that makes me happy, because then I don't need to sit here and be like, oh, will soul condoms be a rug? Do I want to do a giveaway with soul condoms? There is no soul condoms. I just made it up. But
Now there is. I'm just making the mint.
could you imagine somebody's gonna be like, Grape said I love soul condoms. It's crazy, man. Some of these projects. What's fantastic is, as we continue to grow, we're going to be finding, seeing everything first. One of the benefits of being in the Class A, holding 20,000 Grape, is that we'll be the first to also work with that group for giveaways and beta testing. There's going to be a lot of alpha flowing through these channels. Okay, we're doing a really good job of going through the sub DAOs and talking a bit about everything. Now we're gonna get
Does anybody have actually? Is there any issue from the community, from us, like just giving NFTs without vetting them to the community, not incubating them?
I think that that's negligent in a little while myself, because by you giving them out to the community, you're kind of saying, well, it's a possibly good thing to buy. I'm very not for the old pixel arts and stuff myself, but by putting your Grape name to it, you're then, I don't know. There's a whole lot of money grabbing at the moment from people doing 10,000 releases for 2-3 soul.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. We've actually talked about it a lot, and there was a great tweet by Soul Big Brain that the 10,000 mint days are over. The shrooms didn't even sell out, and they had a lot of hype and promotion.
Yeah, I would agree that there are lots of cash grabbing NFT projects right now, just like there were meme coins in the spring. So by giving random NFTs to Grape members could be not so good for the reputation of Grape. So I think there should be some vetting process.
People like free shit in general. We all love our airdrops and all the bullshit to go with it. But yeah, it's just, is that fully promoting good actions?
I'm really happy that everybody's come to the conclusion that we also came to. Yeah, this elevates Solana as well. In that, people will start to look towards this organization, this collective that we are, for guidance in where to spend their time and eventually their money. So I'm gonna now switch over to the moderation sub DAO. The head of that sub DAO will be Tariq STP. Tariq has been a community member again from the beginning, but I mean, if you guys have spent any time in the community, you've seen he is a machine of efficiency. You've done a fantastic job. You'll be working directly with me and Legend, and Dimitri and Taki Soul. Moderation has a lot. That group is the one that sets kind of the tone, decides which channels we need, which permissions. But we're also helping this with other communities. A lot of communities come to us. You might have seen our names beyond their admin list or their whatever list, because we're actually going in and setting up the discords for them. I think the moderation crew is going to grow into something we can't even imagine today, because a lot of non-crypto brands are going to start coming into Discord. Discord and the entire management of it is a whole different revenue stream and growth area. So short term, moderation really focuses on all of the tools and framework and structure of Grape and other Solana servers, and then its eventual evolution can be, how do we help be the experts in running communities on Discord. And maybe it also goes beyond just Discord. Maybe it goes to Telegram other future platforms. I think that if we were ever to experiment with new technologies, for example, Squads is one of those ones that has reached out to us to do some work. They have a DAO tool that would fall under moderation to kind of set it up and use it within our Discord. So again, congrats on that, Tariq. You've done a phenomenal job, and you're exactly a good example of the kind of person we want running that sub DAO. These are people who are representatives of ours. So it's one of those roles that you need to have with a lot of patience, politeness. And every time we're not sure about a question, we work together as a team, and Tariq, it'll be your job to make sure that we've articulated exactly how we respond to different questions. It is a very complicated and nuanced job, and I'm honored to have you on the team to help lead that.
May I also remind something that these sub-DAOs and all these roles are connected to the membership class. In order to be at least in those DAOs, you need to have at least 5,000 Grape.
Absolutely. Chris made a good point. Now, we're not choosing people to be
Thank
leaders of
you.
sub-DAOs who won't have at least 5,000 Grape. We are not going to this time say the exact salary amounts that went out, but obviously everything's gonna be on chain. Everybody can sit there and try to reverse engineer it. I honestly think it's a waste of your time. But moving forward, every single pool of emissions will be transparent and decided by the DAO. So everybody will know them moving forward. Really, don't waste your time trying to figure out how we calculated it, up to here. But everybody who we're giving these responsibilities to will be granted the Grape to be able to maintain those responsibilities.
Exactly. If you have a role now, you don't need to buy to maintain. You just shouldn't sell. But
Well, sell a little.
I mean, sell a little, yeah, of course. Sell as much as you want, but I'm not here to tell you you can sell everything. I'll buy it.
Yeah,
but you're gonna lose your role if.
You guys might get weirded out, but once in a while, we're probably gonna tell you to sell. We don't need to talk about it a lot right now, but there's gonna be moments where we need the membership to be accessible. So yeah,
we'll see. Let's see. Let's not.
It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird, but I'm just telling you guys, expect it. Like we've modeled out a lot, and you guys have done a lot. Everybody has contributed, especially if you have these roles. It's because you've contributed, and we want you to enjoy in that upside. So hold the Grape, but at the same time, sell some. If you want, you're not hurting anybody's feelings. You've earned it. And just make sure you keep enough to maintain what you need for the roles.
Maintain enough more than whales. That's the aim.
But if I sell, the Finnish taxman will come after me.
Just send him to Supercell.
Yeah, Dimitri, you're really cutting up. I think wherever you are, your connection's not able to handle it.
He's on a plane, isn't he?
Yeah, yep, he's on a plane. Okay, so moving on to the, now we've already talked about the project evaluation that was created while we were talking. Um, I think we've covered a lot here. Yeah, there's a lot of new channels that need to be made for our structures. There are a lot of channels that will need to be deleted. This is a good time over the next 48 hours before Tuesday to share. Either you can share, you can make your own Discord and send it to me and share the template. We want to make it that it's easy for you to navigate. We want to make it easy for newcomers to navigate. And we want to make it hyper focused on Solana. When we first came into this world, Grape, we were unsure, like, hey, are we going to be blockchain agnostic? Because with what we've built, we could, support other chains. No, we want to be Solana, only Solana. We're proud to be building here. We're proud of all of the partnerships we've made. So it was an easy choice to say that everything we do from a value creation will go directly into building the ecosystem and other projects. I see now we're at about an hour and a half that we've been talking. Let's give some more time for any other questions or comments. Okay, well, I want to thank everybody who spoke and contributed. I really appreciate it. I know it's a weekend, and being here an hour and a half on your weekend to discuss this shows how much you believe in the project, believe in what we're doing, how much you want to be part of it. I especially want to thank Ardo, Ashdrake, Barn Dog, Dynite, who's logged off now. A lot of people who were speaking. If I didn't say you when you were speaking before, I apologize, but thank you for that. And over the next 2 days, we're going to be adding more channels. We're going to be changing a lot. And sorry, I'm getting distracted because my son's doing weird faces. I'm outside my window. Yeah. This is a
Yeah, not
phenomenal-
all these changes are going to be visible to everybody. Of course, we don't need to litter everybody's Discord with DAO channels that are not participating. So if you're a participant in those DAOs, or if you are a very active community member, yeah, expect to see some changes.
And as we said at the beginning, please make sure you have the right wallet verified. The wallet that you use, that the one that you would want Grape to magically appear in, have that one verified. Spread the message wide to all the people you know that are in our community. Make sure that you have your wallet verified with the correct wallet.
Yeah, there's not much time left, guys. So don't wait for this for Tuesday or something like that.
And if there's any role that you think needs to exist or that you want to volunteer for, or a sub DAO, any of that, let's discuss it openly. The general chat's a great place. As much as possible, I love it when we're discussing everything in one place. And in the meantime, later today, I will have a channel for project evaluation, like application or something like that, where people can share if they are part of a project. You can direct people there to type, and then we'll work with the team that volunteered to make a submission form.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hello, I just wanted to give you a small idea or to share an idea regarding what was discussed on the development part.
Yes, please. Yes, please do.
Yeah,
Tell us your idea.
you got muted, I think.
Well, that
Isn't that a cliffhanger?
that suggestion's not coming.
One thing I meant to ask, Dean, sorry, was can we have a look at access to the Discord so potentially content creators can put requests in the work request? What was the channel? Yeah, the work request channel. So, for example,
Absolutely.
back to my earlier point, then that way I can just bang because you kind of like I've said this to you, like I've wanted to set my own goals. I've wanted to achieve those goals. I've wanted to make sure I'm interested in and the drive is there, and it is. But then you don't want to feel guilty in asking other people for their time and their resources because time is important to a lot of people where you're working normal jobs and you're you don't want to be a burden on other people.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that, and absolutely, we will make a dedicated channel where work requests can go specifically from community creators. So I think the work request structure will be where only community creators can go into that channel and do a work request versus the community events team will have a different work request channel, and the understanding will be how those are prioritized. We'll have to figure that out, but absolutely, I know that that's not open today. It's great that you mentioned it. I'll get that set up within the next 48 hours.
There's nobody else to speak. We can. I think it was a fantastic first meeting, and there are going to be sub meetings.
Yeah. So everybody, we'll recommunicate who the sub DAO leaders are. I think in the next over the next 48 hours, an expectation should be that those sub DAO leaders speak with their team leaders, and we put a schedule of all of those different sub DAO calls over the next, let's say, 2 weeks. Let's have at least one initial call for every single sub DAO over the next 2 weeks, just so we can get that started. So an example would be, PST, you'll speak with David Starflash, and you guys will decide what daytime is the best for the design video sub DAO. And by the way, David, you've done a phenomenal job with delegating all of that work. Been a rock star. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Yeah, as Chris said, I think this was phenomenal as a first call. So many people, so much interaction, so many things we accomplished. We already had a new sub DAO. We've allocated people. This is going to be the time where, if you want to get more involved in setting the DNA, right, the beginning of any DAO, any tokenized community, the most important part is the initial distribution and initial bylaws. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Now take that to the next level. Take the action to be part of this, to give your DNA. So again, thank you all for coming. Thank you for your time. And we will have the next steps out over the next 48 hours when token launches, membership launches. It's going to be a super exciting week, the most exciting week we've had in Grape.
Excited. Thank you.
Thank you too, Avid Learner. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. See you soon.
Goodbye, guys. See you in 3 hours on stream. Take care.
Bye, guys.
All right. That was a good start. Guys, understand that people are shy to talk on air, especially when there are 110 people, 120 people. Very few are native in English, and very few are like very Dean calling me immediately. Give me a second, guys. Papadin Machine is joining. We have an awesome guest coming at my place to meet in a few hours. I'm gonna spill the fucking beans actually here. Neil from FTR is in Athens and he's coming over to say hi. So Future Finance, you've seen the pump, you've seen the streams. He's coming over to drink a beer with us and meet us. So awesome, guys. This is so awesome. And yeah, if you are in Athens, drop a word. Or if you're island hopping. On that note, thank you. Oh man, Fred, I'll extend your salute then to Neil. So on that note, I'll close this stream with the first DAO call. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm gonna chill with Neil, drink a beer, and then I'm gonna open my stream again and do some whale tales, some grape tales, some whatever tales. I have no fucking clue how I'm gonna call the show. Episode 78. And yeah, we're gonna hang out again. So don't drink too much beer, guys, so we can drink one together. Hopefully everything has gone 100% up by the time I switch on my camera. Take care. See you soon.